Welcome to the Monday Night Show with Betty Black.
Hey y'all! Don't forget, I'm the third cousin of Betty White, twice removed. Joining us on the show today also will be Gary Winthorp, Rick Trickle, and the Havana Llamas. See you then! We're here with Gary Winthorp, professional bluegill master angler. Gary, how are you today?
I'm good, Betty. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Now, Gary, you are a professional bluegill angler, right?
Yeah.
Master, yeah. How did you find your calling?
Man, I was a bass fisherman for about a year, and those things just fought too tough, so I saw a bluegill. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give those guys a shot now.
Gary, you said earlier to me, behind the scenes here, that you had a podcast.
It's called Fishing with Gary, and you can find it on the App Store for about 50 cents. Yeah, iTunes wouldn't go any higher. It's just a day on the water with me, giving you some tips and pointers about how to get those bluegill on the hook. Fishing with Gary episode 1 just launched the other day. Be swell if you guys could go check that out. It's pretty entertaining.
Gary, you said again earlier that you had recent surgery for helping your shoulder get back in place because you threw it out of place catching a couple pretty heavy ones.
Yeah, I had a 3-pounder on the line, and it almost spooled me, took all my line. And I just fought as hard as I could. My shoulder was pretty messed up afterwards, and I went to the doctor and I paid like 10 grand to get my shoulder better.
All right, that was Gary Winthorp, professional bluegill master angler. Gary, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. Have a nice day, Betty.
And here's some footage of Gary in action.
Hey guys, it's Gary. We're on the water today, just fishing for some bluegill, trying to get some sizable fish. And if you haven't already checked out my podcast, I would really be happy if you guys went and checked it out. Last week I gave you some pointers on how to get them off their beds and catch some pretty sizable fish, catch some maybe 2-pounders, maybe a little less.
Joining us today is Rick Trickle, great second cousin of Dick Trickle, professional NASCAR race car driver. Rick, how are you today?
I'm doing really good today.
Awesome. Rick here is professional cactus farmer. Rick, tell us all about that.
Well, when I was a little kid, we went into the backyard and we saw a bunch of little cactuses in the backyard and we started to play with them, and that's when I got the idea. Maybe I should start growing these.
Well, that sounds fun. Rick, please tell us, have you ever had any injuries resulting in cactus?
Many injuries. I've been poked all over the place by cactuses, and it's been really painful.
I imagine it is. Now, Rick, what is the biggest cactus you ever seen?
Well, I've seen one that's like 10 feet tall, and that was in the middle of the Sierra Nevada desert, and it was super tall and crazy with all these other arms and shapes and nice piercing little spines on them. It was really interesting.
So what shape would you say that is?
You know, like where it goes down like this and then it has the 2 L's on the side, just a classic.
Like a sword.
Like the sword,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah. Okay, so now out here on my farm, you can see my favorite cactuses I have grown. See this really big one? That's my prized possession of all the cactuses that I personally have seen and own. It's really interesting how well these cactuses can just penetrate through the soil of the ground and just grow so tall and so high and just produce so much money.
Now, just a ballpark estimate, how much money have you made in the last year?
Well, I've made about $35 billion the last year by selling cactuses. It's a pretty good business because selling cactuses are quite expensive because sometimes they're hard to grow because you need the right temperature, the right water conditions, and the right size. So, yeah.
All right, thank you, Rick Trickle, for coming here on the studio today.
Thank you for having me.
back in studio with the Havana Llamas, with rapper SEABASS and his manager Lightning Strike, with their new album,
Mondays Suck. Mondays Suck.
Tell us all about that.
Well, we call it Mondays Suck because you know how Mondays is the start of the week where school starts? Sucks. Yeah.
Straight on, yeah.
Yeah, so it sucks. So Monday sucks.
Any other thoughts on that, Lightning Strike? About how much have you guys made on this album?
Like 2,000. Yeah.
And that was in the first day, folks.
Yeah.
Lightning Strike, how did you find SEABASS here to be your rapper?
Oh no, I just found him in the middle of nowhere.
In Cuba or?
Cuba, yeah.
The desert?
I was born in Colorado, but moved to Cuba. Yeah. And started making money on the streets, and then he found me.
Money by rapping or dancing? Or?
Money by rapping.
What was your first rap song? Just a little doo-dap thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One time I was a rapper, but now I am imaginative. Yeah, because he's like 63 now. I'm only 30.
Old. You guys will never guess my age. Well, thanks for having us, you guys, here on the studio.
I am gonna introduce myself to my rapper. Can't remember his name. SEABASS! We've been knowing each other for 6 years! Come on! SEABASS! And this is our album, Mondays Suck!
Thanks for tuning in to the Monday Night Show with Betty Black. I'll see you next week for some more awesome videos. See you then.